Hi and welcome to this video where I'm going to talk to you about what a social media manager does. So that is a freelance social media manager and what they do working from home. What exactly does that involve and how you can do that too if you wanted to. So make sure you keep watching this video to learn all about it, what we do, what I do, how I can work flexibly from home around my kids and earn a great income doing so. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about myself and how I got into this business and why I got into this business, because it's very important to me and I'm very passionate. So my working career has been in the corporate world. I've worked in London, I've worked in Birmingham, I've worked in Ireland, and I used to be a PA. So I used to be a PA to a CEO, I used to do all the admin, etc, etc. So yeah, it was a bit boring and I always knew that there was more potential for me out there, but I didn't know what. So it took me a long time to get where I am today and realise what I love doing. But what changed it for me and what I think changes it for most people when they start their own business is when you have kids. So when you have kids, everything changes. And I have two small ones and I wanted to be there for them and be able to pick them up from school and go to their school plays and their Christmas plays and sports days and all the things like that. But to do that, I couldn't do that in the corporate world. I couldn't, I was working long days from about 8:30 till 6. So I would never see my kids in the morning because I would always leave earlier when they weren't even awake. And then I'd get back home at like 6:30 and have half an hour to spend with them before they went to bed. So no, I wasn't going to do that and I needed something more flexible. So I started this business and that gives me the flexibility that I absolutely craved. I can pick up my kids from school, I can take them to school, I can go to their school plays. I don't have to ask anyone for time off, and I am the boss. I don't have to ask anyone else's permission. I'm accountable for everything, and I can take a day off tomorrow if I wanted to. So it really is a flexible way of working, and so I hope that you enjoy this video and what I'm going to talk about what I do and how you could do it as well. So what does a social media manager do? So I'm talking about freelance social media managers. So these are social media managers that work from home and have various clients and are self-employed. So this isn't for people who are working in a company as an employee. This is for someone who wants to work flexibly from home as a freelancer and own your own business, working with social media clients and doing social media management for those clients. What is involved? So a social media manager, they generally work for various clients. And those clients can be anything from bars, restaurants, cafes, and we manage their social media for them. So what does that entail? That entails all sorts of things. And the first thing, so number one, probably the most important thing is working out a strategy. So let's say you get your first social media client and they are on social media, say, but they don't know what they should be doing and where they should be. So what you would do, you'd come in and you'd work with the client and decide on what the strategy should be. So where is their audience? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? Or are they on Twitter, etc., and all those other platforms that are about there? So you'll be working with the clients about how and what the social media platforms they should be on, because they don't want to spread themselves too thin. So there is no point being on all the social media platforms. It's really good to focus on one or two so that you can really nail those platforms and make a great success out of them. So that was number one, is strategy. So you may be doing that when you first get a client. So that's the strategy side. Number two, so the number two really important thing is, what are you going to post? So it's creating content for your clients. So that could be image creation, it could be text creation. So what are you going to say? How are you going to say it? What hashtags are you going to use? And what imagery are you going to use? And what platforms you're going to do those on. So for example, on Facebook, what you need to do is you need to plan the types of posts that you are going to put out there. So it could be anything from a testimonial, you could be giving some tips and advice, it could be some photos of an event that your clients attended, or it could be behind the scenes content. So there's loads and loads of content that you can put out there, but what a social media manager needs to do is plan that content. So for example, what are you going to say the next week or the next month? What is it that you want to get out there to your audience? So you will be putting a plan together about the type of posts that you're going to create, but also the text to go alongside those posts. If there's imagery to go with them, what images are you going to use? And then also if it's on Instagram or Twitter, you'll be looking at hashtags. So what kind of hashtags are you going to use? Perhaps you'll be using a link because you are advising someone to have a look at an article that you've written, so you want to know what links you need to put in those posts as well. So that's number 2, that's content creation. Number 3 is engagement. So you've got your strategy put in place, you've got the kind of content that you want to post, and you've created that content, but you also need to do engagement. So you can't just post away on social media, it's not going to work. You need to do some engagement as well. So depending on your client's budget and what they need, you will be doing engagement, every day, ideally for your clients. So that is going into, for example, Twitter and looking at your audience's tweets and retweeting those, liking them, commenting. So that's what I mean when I talk about engagement, and it's really, really important. Same with Instagram. You need to, when you post one of your posts, you need to then go and look at your audience. You need to go through their news feed. You need to be commenting and replying and liking their stuff. And you also need to be following others as well. So you need to be following your audience so you can actually engage with them. And engagement is so key in social media. If you don't do engagement, your accounts won't grow. You won't see any success at all. So engagement is really, really key. So that is number 3. So you've got 1, strategy, 2, content, 3, engagement. Number 4 is tools, the social media management tools that you may be using on a daily basis. So there's so many tools out there. I'm actually going to do another video on social media management tools because there are so many and it's a massive thing. It's going to be a huge part of working as a social media manager from home. You need to use the right tools to do the job correctly. So for example, I'm just going to run through a few for content creation for those images, creating those images. There's a tool called Canva. It's a basic tool, but if you don't have any graphic design skills and you're not a graphic designer, then Canva is perfectly acceptable to use, and it's a tool to create images. So for example, if you're doing a review, you can put the review on like a postcard, and you can brand the colours, you can put your logo on. So there's all kind of different things that you can create in Canva, and it's a really, really good tool, and you can resize those images in just a press of a button. So for example, if you create the original in Twitter, you can then resize it for Instagram and Facebook, because obviously the images that you're going to use are different for each platform. You're going to have to look at schedulers. So schedulers are a tool where you can schedule posts in advance. So for example, if I was creating posts for next week, I would schedule and create them all this week, and so you're not doing it like in a rambled old fashion, and next week I know that all my clients' posts are scheduled and ready to go. So I use different ones for different platforms. So Hootsuite is one of my favourites for Twitter. I love it because it's a great way to engage as well. They have a great way to engage with your audience on Twitter in the form of lists. So lists are a way that you can easily engage with various different subsets of your audience. So it might be ambassadors, suppliers, potential clients, it could be local businesses, all sorts of different things where you can engage on Hootsuite, and it's a great platform to be able to do that. I also use it for LinkedIn, again, to schedule to clients personal profiles or their pages if they wish to do that. And then, so that's Hootsuite. So I would recommend to you to go and have a look at that and play around with it. You can get them on a free trial basis, so always do that. And the pay plan, I think, is about $12 or something a month, so you can get a free version, which is perfectly good. But to get like analytics and stuff like that, then you'll be looking at a paid version. So that's Hootsuite. Another tool I use is Later. So Later I use for Instagram, and I love Later because you can actually see the grids layout of your client's account. So it's a really good way to see that visually. And again, it's just another great tool to use for scheduling to Instagram. And then so for Facebook, I use Creator Studio. So the Creator Studio is a new thing that they brought out in the UK. I think in the US it's been going for a little while, but in the UK it's fairly new, and it's a bit glitchy, to be fair, at the moment, but it can only get better. But it's an in-house Facebook tool to schedule to Facebook pages. So that's what I use, and it's great to do that. You can schedule to Instagram using it, but I find it really glitchy at the moment, and I'm not a big fan. But I'm hoping that they're going to improve it, and then I will probably convert to that. So those are the kind of tools that you'll be using. There's lots of project management tools that you can use, like Trello. So Trello is really good for clients who want to see tasks and all sorts of things. So that's another great tool to use. And they are the main ones that I use at the moment. There's all sorts of other things like LastPass, which is like a security password software, which is great to use. And so I'm going to do another video on this with all the tools that you can use and you need to use when you're doing social media management working at home. So I've been talking really about organic management. So there are other ways that you can drive traffic and increase awareness and sales, and that's through advertising. So Facebook ads is another great way to do this. So you may be doing, and it depends on the client's budget. You may have clients that don't have the budget to do Facebook ads and they just want to grow organically. So all the stuff I've been talking about previously is a way to do that. But if they really want to see huge results, then Facebook ads is quite a pretty good way to go. It's much better than your usual advertising such as flyers and posters and stuff like that. Facebook ads is really fantastic. So you might be doing Facebook ads for some clients. So that's another little tool that you might be using and you need to get into. So you might be creating the content, you're doing strategy, you're doing engagement, you're using those scheduling tools, and then you might be doing Facebook ads as well. So that's something to bear in mind. Another thing that you'll be doing from home flexibly when you're a social media management is analytic reporting. So this is a great way to see whether what you're doing is getting the results that you want to get, because obviously you've got these clients and you want to show them that what you're doing is working. So at the end of the month you will be doing some kind of reporting, so analytic reporting, and what this involves is you can look at like the native analytics in each platform and scrape the data from that and show it in a nice kind of flashy report, and you can do some stuff on Canva and create pie charts and charts and things like that. So really what you want to be showing your client is that what you're doing is increasing, you're growing the reach, you're getting more followers, and you're increasing engagement, because those are really important. So that's something you're going to be doing on a monthly basis for your clients and reporting back to them. So that's really, really important and really key as part of the whole social media package that you'll be offering to clients. So another thing that you're going to be doing when you run your own business, you're going to have to be invoicing those clients. So you've got to think about doing that and making time for your own admin. So on a monthly basis you will be invoicing your clients, and there's lots of programs that you can do now. You can do it manually and just send them an email. So also what you'll be doing is you'll be sending like proposals now to begin with. So when you want a client and you've met someone who needs your services, what you'll do is you'll have the initial meetings. That might be a telephone call at first, and then if they're local, then you might go and meet them, and then what they'll want is a proposal of what you've discussed. So you may be doing some proposals and working out what the client's objectives are, and then those solutions that you're going to offer to give them really good results. So that's proposals. You'll be sending those out, and then also contracts. So you've got to think about contracts, and it obviously depends what country you're in to what kind of contracts you need. Another thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be trying to advertise yourself. So you're going to have to be looking after your own social media, especially at the beginning when you want to advertise and you want to get those clients. If you haven't got any unique clients, obviously, so you're going to have to do your own promotion. And the way I do that, I'm again going to do some more videos on how to get clients. It's really, really important. But the way that I do it is on LinkedIn, Facebook, networking and referrals. So there's lots and lots of other ways you can do it, but they're my main kind of 4 that I do. So I'm just going to run through everything that I said and what a social media manager does, so what is involved. So those things were the first thing that I talked about was strategy. So when you work from home and you have your own business as a social media manager, you're going to be working on social media strategy for your clients. The second thing that you're going to do is the content. So you're going to be creating the content and posting it, scheduling it, and that's the really fun bit because you can get really creative. So that's content, and it's kind of account management. So you're going to manage their accounts, and it also might be you're going to look at, for example, Facebook. So you're going to go into their Facebook page. You might be creating a Facebook page for some clients if they don't have it already, and it's going to be like looking at their banners, looking at their profile photos, and really tidying up those pages to make sure that they're completely optimized. So that's content creation. And then engagement, so we're going to be engaging on a daily basis and doing all that to grow their following and increase sales and create awareness and credibility and all those objectives that clients want. And then you're going to be using all those tools to be able to do that. So you're going to be looking at tools, and it may be that you want to test a few out to see which ones you prefer. So that's the tools, and then you're going to be looking at analytics. So you're going to be doing the reporting side of things. You're going to be doing your own admin, so invoicing, contracts and proposals, and then you're going to want to do advertising and promotion to be able to get those clients. So that's obviously, doing your own social media. Again, that obviously takes time as well, so you need to do that. So those are really the things that I do on a daily basis for my clients. It's really exciting. It's so varied to have you can niche down into what clients you love working with. For me, it's like the creative side, so creative industries, music, TV and all that kind of stuff. The creative side for me is kind of where I'm gearing to and what I love to do, so you can niche down, but it's so varied and it's just a great way to earn an income working flexibly from home, because I'm in my office now, I've just got a computer. You can do it anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be, at home. You can do it while you're traveling, as long as you've got Wi-Fi, you can do this job anywhere. And it's a really profitable job to do. There's very little overheads, and it's just so amazing. And if you've got kids like me, I've got 2 kids and I work flexibly around them from home, and I'm my own boss. I can go to their plays when I want to go to their plays. I don't have to ask anyone like I used to. And yeah, it's just a brilliant way to make an income working from home, and you can do it too. So I hope you've really enjoyed this video and that you can take a lot away from it. And if you do, then I'd love some comments below, and just tell me what videos you'd find interesting in the future, what you'd like me to talk about, and also hit that subscribe button. I'm not quite sure where it's going to be, but hit that subscribe button so I can keep in touch with you and you can follow me and learn more about what it is like to be a social media management, how to get clients, and all those types of things that you'll need to know going forward. So thanks ever so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you soon. Bye.